So for Hindus, the fundamental problem that we face as human beings is being trapped in the cycle of samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth. When we die, our Atman, our soul, is passed from one life to another. And in general, we're incapable of remembering our previous lives, but we do carry something over, and that something is called karma, which I'll talk about in a bit. For Hindus, samsara encompasses all different sorts of life, so this includes animals, humans, and even gods. But although by gods, what's meant is not the gods of Hinduism, but sort of divine beings who dwell in heavens and live lives of great luxury and pleasure. But it's entailed by this belief that all human beings were at one time animals. Their souls lived in animal bodies, and it's possible that they could again become animals, depending upon how they live their lives, depending upon their karma. Partly for this reason, Hindus tend to place great value on animal life. Many Hindus are vegetarian, although not all, and are opposed to animal cruelty. There is a sense, however, in which humans are superior to non-human animals, and in that only humans are capable of escaping the cycle of death and rebirth. Essentially, animals just live their lives according to instinct. They are incapable of making moral choices, and so they have no chance of achieving moksha. And moksha is defined as the ultimate goal of Hinduism, an escape from the cycle of death and rebirth. And as we'll see in a little while, there are three basic paths, three ways of achieving moksha. This is an excerpt from a very interesting and useful summary of Hindu beliefs put out by Hinduism Today, which is a magazine and a website. And I'm not going to read through these. I may point out some highlights, but I include them for your edification, and I encourage you to either come to pause the lecture and read them on your own, or to come back and read them later on. Certainly before the exam, I encourage you to review, because it provides some additional information and also reiterates some of the points which are made in your other readings and in the other slides. Okay, so karma, which I suspect if you've heard none of the other terms, you've heard of karma, even if only from watching the show My Name is Earl. But karma is understood as a universal law, almost like the law of gravity, and it's a law of cause and effect. And essentially it means that whatever you do will come back to you. So if you do good things, if you live your life according to your dharma, which we'll talk about momentarily, which is your duty, then you'll accrue good karma. And good things will happen to you either in this life or more importantly, in your next life. And you'll be reborn in a more fortuitous level, either as a higher caste individual or even potentially as a god, depending how well you live your life. Conversely, if you act badly, and if you're evil and selfish and don't do your duty, your religious and social duty, then you accrue bad karma, and you'll be reborn in a more unfortunate life, perhaps as someone belonging to a lower caste, so being lower on the socioeconomic scale, or even as an animal. And Hindus believe that we do have free choice, and effectively our karma, as the quote at the bottom suggests, is the hand we're dealt, with an analogy to playing cards. It's up to us how we play that hand and how well we live our lives based on the situation in which we find ourselves. One important aspect of karma is that it's completely just, and it provides an explanation for why bad things happen to us, why there's suffering in the world. And as we'll see when we talk about Judaism and Christianity, monotheistic religions, evil is something of a puzzle. It's a theological challenge to understand why in the world which was created and is governed by an all-good, all-powerful deity, there is so much suffering and so much pain. And Hindus can explain that by appealing to karma. Because according to the doctrine of karma, everything that happens to us is deserved. It's not even God judging us, because Hindus believe that karma is just like the law of gravity. It happens automatically, doesn't depend upon God's actions. So if you do bad things, they will come back to haunt you. They're inescapable. And if you suffer in this life, it's because you did something bad in your previous life. And if you prosper in this life, it's probably because you did something good in this life or in a previous life. And so it's perfectly just. There's no suffering and there's no success which